Tempers flaring on the fairway, a big bad Bertha brawl breaking out on a golf course in Denver. This is kind of how it went, Liz. A couple of duffers coming to blows on the 18th hole. After the group behind teed off and the other was still apparently on the green, they didn't like that. I don't think they landed many punches, but golfers really don't, actually.
Have you ever seen this happen on
I have not. This is a first, and it's certainly a first on camera. But as you'll see here in a moment, these guys end up, shaking hands and giving each other a bro hug.
Golf, a contact sport, who knows?
That's right. I'll see you on the 19th tee, folks.
All right, back to politics. A rough patch for Donald Trump over the last few days, and the Trump campaign arguing that the media is piling on. Take a look at some of these headlines from just the last 2 days. From the Huffington Post, quote, "Is Donald Trump hiding a medical condition?" From NBC News, Trump's mental state is becoming a campaign talking point. And finally, the Washington Post, not parsing any words, is Trump just plain crazy? Our own Howie Kurtz is the host of Media Buzz and a Fox News media analyst. Howie, what is your reaction to these recent headlines, especially this week?
My reaction is that this is nuts, okay? Yes, Trump is going through the worst stretch of his campaign, and it is certainly fair game to say, has he made bad judgments? Has he committed political malpractice by keeping this Kaiser Khan story going now for 5-6 days? All of that. But this turn in the media coverage, media never having been very big fans of Donald Trump from the beginning, questioning his mental health, that was a liberal columnist Eugene Robinson who said just plain crazy. Former Republican Congressman Joe Scarborough on MSNBC saying, I've known Trump for a long time, he's never acted like this, it's unhinged. I just don't understand how we are qualified to suddenly conclude that the guy has a couple of screws loose.
All right, you mentioned Eugene Robinson, so I want to put that quote up on screen so our viewers can see exactly what you're talking about. Reading in part, "I'm increasingly convinced that he's just plain crazy. At this point, it would be irresponsible to ignore the fact that Trump's grasp on reality appears to be tenuous at best." Is this in some way, with this media bias, is this helping Trump in any way or no?
Well, I think in the past, a lot of the over-the-top criticism of Trump has, in fact, helped him because, for one thing, it helps him dominate the coverage, and he gets to run against the press, which is very successful with his base. But now he's in a position of having to sort of broaden his coalition to try to overtake Hillary Clinton. And I also think, just this whole, again, it's fine to hammer him. It's a presidential campaign, and everything you do, including your temperament, is up for media scrutiny. But how would a guy who's crazy, an outsider, beat 16 other Republican candidates, including governors, senators of Bush, and win the nomination? How would a guy who is a little bit of a whack job build a successful business and have a global brand name based on his last name? I mean, it just seems to me that the press now has moved, it's donning the psychiatrist outfit and moved into some very dangerous territory. And that's also, whenever a campaign hits a trouble spot like this, Elizabeth, there are now leaks about, well, his campaign advisors are frustrated, they can't control him, Republican leaders are wondering if they can replace him. Yeah, good luck with that. So it does seem to me that it's hard to distinguish, legitimate media criticism of a candidate who's having a rough time from those who would question his sanity. I just think that's a little crazy.
Right, but as you said, just about everything is fair game when you're running for president. But that being said, he does have people who are coming in to his defense. We heard from former House Speaker Newt Gingrich. I wanted to listen to the soundbite and then get your reaction. Take a listen.
What you have is an enormous news media bias. Think of it as a headwind against a sailing ship. They're going to do everything they can to stop Trump. They're going to do everything they can to exaggerate every mistake he makes. And they're going to interpret everything in the worst possible light. And they're doing that both to prop up Hillary and to try to slow down Trump, because they began to realize this spring this guy could really win. And if he wins, he really will change their world.
Okay, agree or disagree, Hillary Clinton is getting the same treatment as Donald Trump from the mainstream media.
I can't agree with that. She's hardly getting as much coverage, even when she got a lot of negative coverage with the FBI investigation, the comments of Director James Comey, and all of that. Trump has dominated the coverage of this campaign. He continues to dominate. Gingrich is right. There's a lot of media bias against Donald Trump on the right, by the way, as well as the left. But also, Trump is making mistakes that fuels the coverage. The controversy over the cons is the classic example, which should have been a 1 or 2 day story. It's got a lot of rocket fuel after Kaiser Khan spoke at the Democratic Convention, became a story that is still raging today because of Trump's decision, ill-advised in my view, to criticize a Gold Star family. So it's a combination of Trump's mistakes, the media seizing on that, and, you know, now we've reached a point where we're saying, is he crazy? I think some people out there may be saying, hey, you pundits, you might be a little bit off when it comes to having full control of your faculties.
All right. Well, Howie Kurtz, thank you so much for joining us. I'm sure the conversation will continue on your show on Sunday. We will be sure to tuning in. Thank you so much.
At about 10:30.